Coming at you full-fledged, it's your boy Regg, with another video for y'all, man. Welcome, YouTube. We are out of the 1980s and we move into the 1990s. Who other than arguably the greatest dynasty in American team sports history? My sixth selection in the 10 greatest NBA teams of all time is the 1991 Chicago Bulls. Now, if you are into hoops the way I am, I'm only saying that because we know we got a lot of new viewers in here, a lot of people that don't watch my stuff for basketball. You know that the Chicago Bulls' reign over the NBA was supposed to start way before 1991. Just like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, the pillars of basketball in the 80s, taking over from the bridge of modern and pre-modern basketball and Julius Dr. J. Irvin, the Bulls, led by Michael Jordan, was supposed to take over from them, preferably by the mid to late 1980s. Remember, he was drafted in 84. However, the Detroit Pistons saw themselves as an interruption in the NBA script, making the playoffs for the first time in 1985. Chicago went through growing pains for about the first four seasons, losing 3-1 in 85 to the Milwaukee Bucks, again, the greatest franchise not to win in that decade. Getting swept by the Celtics in 86, another quote-unquote GOAT team. Same in 87, getting swept by the Celtics. And again, getting gentlemen swept by the Pistons in the second round of the 88 playoffs in their way to the finals. By 1989, the Bulls thought they became a serious threat to Detroit. Now, they won 3 less games than the prior season, and they dwindled down from being ranked 9th in offense and 3rd in defense to 12th in offense and 11th in defense, while trying to get past the Pistons after they got screwed with that phantom foul going to the finals in that game. Was that game 7? Yeah, in that game 7 after Isaiah Thomas had one of the greatest finals performances of all time with a sprained ankle. So the Bulls were so close, but yet so far. They lose the following 2 years, 89 in 6 games, in 1990 in 7 games. Now, it's understood that the 1989 and 1990 playoffs didn't end the way the Bulls wanted it to. But I would say those 2 years losing in the Western Conference Finals prepared them for their upcoming dominance of the next decade. Again, in the 88-89 season, Chicago won 3 less games and fell in the rankings for offense and defense. The 1990 season saw the Bulls hire longtime assistant coach. He was on the coaching staff. Let me preface this. He was already on the coaching staff. Assistant coach Phil Jackson, they hired him as the head coach, which led them to go 55-27. That's 8 more games than the previous season, 47. And while they were a top 5 offense that season, their defense still needed work as it was ranked in the bottom half at 19. For the trio of Jordan, Jackson, and Scottie Pippen, 1991, in 1991, nothing was getting in the way of them winning the championship. Pip, who had a bad ending to the previous season, sitting out of Game 7 due to a quote-unquote migraine. We know about that. We've seen The Last Dance. We heard the stories way before The Last Dance came out. He had his own form of a redemption story to tell. While he didn't make the All-Star team, Pippen made a jump in his production, playing 82 games for the second consecutive year. He averaged 17.8 points, shooting a career-high 52% from the field, 7.3 rebounds, led the team at small forward in assists with 6.2, and he made the all-defensive second team, putting up 1.1 blocks and 2.4 steals on that side of the floor. To digress, I'm going to digress real quick. In my Decade Definers video, I discussed how the 90s really wasn't a decade for positional dominance. While that certainly was the case, I have to shout out Pip for popularizing the point forward position back then. Because remember, again, I said it in that video, Grant Hill was drafted in the mid to late 90s. He was promoted as the next Michael Jordan, but in reality, he was a point forward. So that's something to think about. Michael Jordan, for him in 1991, that was the signification of 7 years of building a franchise finally paying off, as he was the only player from his rookie season that was still on that squad. GOAT seasons, this is the start of many for MJ. Playing 82 games for the fourth time in his career, he led the league in scoring for the fifth straight time with 31.5 points, grabbed 6 boards a game, and dished out 5.5 dimes while being a first-team all-defender, swatting a shot a game, and stealing the ball 2.7 times a game. He took hardware home before the postseason as he won his second regular season MVP. After starting 0-3 at the beginning of the season, the Bulls never lost 3 straight games again with Michael Jordan as a member of the roster. As it relates to the 1991 season, though, Chicago was ranked number 1 in offense and 7th in defense, going 61-21 in the regular season. They dominated in the playoffs, going 15-2. They sweep the Patrick Ewing New York Knicks in the first round, 3-0 at that time, and hand the gentleman's sweep to the Charles Barkley-led Sixers in the second. After literal dozens of losses in the regular season and 2 straight conference finals exits, the Bulls swept the Detroit Pistons to advance to the NBA Finals and face Magic Johnson's LA Lakers. Now, we went into detail about this series before, and a big paraphrase here. While Magic was still in his prime and indeed led that hobbled dynasty to the championship round because Byron Scott was out and James Worthy was out with an injury. I don't think after the injury he really came back the same player. I think it was a serious leg injury or something. While that was the case, nobody expected the Bulls to beat them in 5 games. And at that time, nobody expected Jordan having a Magic-esque series, averaging 31.2 points and 11.4 assists to, again, win in 5 games and take home the Finals MVP as Chicago took home their first NBA championship. And you remember after that, the festivities, the crying, Jack Nicholson shaking his hand, Jordan becoming a superstar, so on and so forth. The rest is history. But I want y'all to let me know, should this 1991 team be in the top 10 list and not another one? How many teams do you have in the 90s in your top 10 list? Let me know. But before, hit that like button, comment at the beginning, middle, and ending of the video, share for others to see, subscribe if you are new, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop. And finally, if there's a particular topic you want me to speak on, hit that link in the pinned comment section below and donate to the Raise Man. 1990s. Here we go. Now this one, I'm expecting this one to be, I want to see y'all comments on this because I did my research. And I'm going to explain further down the line why I picked these teams. I'm already doing that. But y'all, again, share.